Hey everybody, this is Richard Noto. I am a realtor, home inspector, and notary located in Winter Garden, Florida. So this video that I am making right now that you are viewing is going to be all about resort properties, and it's going to give you some of the basics, some of the things that you should know and possibly consider. So let's start off and talk about it over here. So the first thing is that most of the resort communities are mostly investors. Mostly investors tend to come in and purchase the property in them. Now there's a whole bunch of reasons for that, which are going to be over here in this list at some point. And also typically people that are going to use it to take a vacation, but they also want to rent it out. Okay, one of the things about the resort properties is typically you can find one where they're going to take care of it for you. So if you do live far away, it's extremely helpful. When you are far away, anything can happen to your property and you still have to keep the property in excellent shape, which means if there is an HOA in place in the community and you have somebody that comes to your house to cut the grass, but you live far away, and if they run over the sprinklers with a lawnmower, which does happen often, they take the sprinkler head, they chop it, that water's shooting 10 feet up in the air, and you have no idea every single time the sprinklers go off, it's on you. If something happens at the property, the property's sitting there empty and somebody goes and smashes in a window, well, again, it's on you to keep the property in good shape. So typically, the investors come in and the people that are looking to take a vacation. Now, sometimes there are people that are just looking to live there because they really love it and they just, decide, okay, well, I'm going to purchase this and I'm going to live there. Okay, so the first thing on this list is that it's common for the buyer to live far away. Now, the properties at the resorts can vary, so not everyone is going to take care of your property, but there's going to be different features that might make the resort property a resort, or sometimes they might also take care of it. So let's move along. Number 2, short-term rentals. Now, short-term rentals is really popular with people that are looking to invest and people that are looking to take a vacation and also try to make back some of the money that they're paying on the property per month. So short-term rental typically means the resort is going to set the amount of days or times. Sometimes you might be able to rent it out for a single day. Sometimes it might be 2 days, 3 days, who knows, maybe a week. But the time frame is set. Now, how it's going to be rented out is also going to be something else that you would have to find out from the resort. So it could be where you could just do like, you could put an ad in something or put it on maybe the MLS, or you could do Airbnb or whatever. So there's a few things that could happen with that. But typically it's going to be aimed at people that are taking a vacation. Because look, it's Florida and we have tons of theme parks and there's just a lot of stuff going on. So just consider that when you are considering a short-term rental, because it's going to play a huge part in it. Number 3, a furniture package. This is something that you might have to purchase. Now, typically a furniture package might come with the property. It depends on the place that you're going to be purchasing it at. So some of them, they might just include a furniture package, and then you're going to have to keep the property exactly like that, which means you can't go hanging shelves and doing things to the property, hanging pictures, all kinds of stuff. For other places, the furniture package, you only have to purchase it if you want to be part of the program to rent it out, which is going to be rented out through the resort. So now this takes us to number 4, okay? On-site property management teams. Now, what does this really mean? This could be looked at a few ways. Now, the first thing is the resort sometimes is going to do things for the people that have homes there, like they might pick up the garbage every single day. There could be other stuff that they do, check up on the property from the exterior, stuff like that. But typically in this situation, the important thing is this property management team is going to take care of your property. If you live far away, you're an investor and you just don't want to deal with it, or you just want to use it to take a nice vacation in Florida. So the place that you're making the purchase at is going to offer you potentially, they might say, well, we have property management company A, B, and C, and you could pick from these three. Or they might say, okay, we have a property management company, and this is the one that you use if you want to rent it. Okay, so now here's the thing with the property management, is the property management has to do everything according to the standards of the place that you're making the purchase, the resort. So the resort sets all the standards and the property management teams have to follow it. Now this is a bit different than if you hire a company, like say if you own a house and you decide you're going to hire somebody to check up on the property and manage it. Well, you can, but if that person knows that you live really far away, maybe in another country, they might not even show up when they're supposed to. So, then you find out, surprise, your property is a mess. But over here, they have to follow the standards and they have to check on it and do everything that they're supposed to do. Number 5, it's going to rent like a hotel. Now, it might not always. It might be the type of place where, it's all up to you. You could do what you want to rent it out, however you want to advertise it, whatever price you want to set, that's all up to you. Some of these things have their ups and downs, and there's a lot to consider. But in this case, we're going to talk about the price is controlled by the resort. Okay, so the resort is saying, your home is going to be priced at this during this time of year. So really, it's renting out exactly like a hotel. And it's probably also going to be on a website where people can head over to the website and take out a room. So it's the same thing like if you were renting out something at the Hilton or the Marriott or whatever. You just go to the website, you pick the days that you want it, and you see the price. Same thing here. Now, some of these... I'm just going to back up. The reason why they do this, okay, is to keep the price from being a mess. Because let's just say you have a home and another person has a home, another person on this block, and it's a time of year where it's kind of slow, or maybe there's that one person that comes in and here a whole bunch of people are renting it out for $100 a night, and this one person comes in and says, well, I'm just gonna always have mine booked and then I'll make more money. So they go and make it $25 a night. So yeah, they're booked all the time, and now everybody else over here isn't really renting, so then they decide, well, everybody else is going to start to come down in price as well. Before you know it, the value isn't there anymore. In this situation, it's under control, just like a hotel. Okay, so the resort is going to charge the customers. Now, this is really important as well because, now you don't have to worry about getting the payments, collecting payments, anything like that. The person that's looking for the room is going to head over to the website or however it's done, and the payment is done right there. So for you, it's a lot easier. Number 7, the fees are going to be split with the resort. Okay, so what does this really mean? It means that the resort, let's say the resort's charging $100 a night, but when you went and made the purchase, the resort said, well, we need 40% or half, 50% maybe, who knows. It could be anything, but I mean, that's common. So if the resort's charging, $100 a night, you're only going to get half of that any time that the property is being used and rented, okay? So it's just something to consider, but the reason why this is done is because the resort is doing everything for you. They have the property management teams, they're taking care of it, they're making sure the sprinklers are okay, they're making sure that the windows are okay, that the inside has everything, the TVs aren't damaged, all kinds of stuff. Now the other thing just to go back here to number 6, if the customer does something to the property and they damage it, the resort is going to charge them for it. So if they, do something and they break a TV, or they, damage the furniture, they tear it up, the resort is going to go after them for the money. Number 8, typically most of these communities, most of the resorts have a gate with somebody at the front checking everybody's ID, asking them questions as to why they're here, stuff like that. So that's very common. Now, another thing that's common about these places is typically they have like a water park set up inside of it. So there might be like a lazy river, there could be like a water bucket type thing. The pool could be just really awesome, all that stuff. Many of them have food, like a restaurant, a bar, all kinds of stuff like that inside. And then you have things like a gym and maybe an arcade. An arcade is, you might find that in like half of these resorts where there is that. So there's a lot of things to consider when you pick it out, but part of the reason for you making a purchase here is that the property that you have can compete as well with all the other locations. Here in Florida, if somebody's taking a trip and they're on vacation, why are they going to rent out your house if your house doesn't have a pool, it doesn't have a restaurant, it doesn't have a gym, it doesn't have, I don't know, there could be, some people that like that sort of thing, but there's probably going to be a lot more people that want all this stuff if they're going to pay the same price as a hotel. So I hope that you found this video somewhat helpful. If you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out and contact me. And check out my website at wintergardennew.com. There's a ton of information over there. You could always check out the latest homes for sale at the bottom of the page for its community. And if the home is on the MLS from the home builder, it will be there. Sometimes home builders don't put homes on the MLS, so always contact me first for the latest information and also for the latest pricing on everything, because it is real estate and real estate does change from day to day. And if you are interested in purchasing a new home, again, please do contact me first, because there is a policy with most home builders that if you enter the home builder or you call them up and hand them over your information, there's a good chance then that you can't use the realtor that you want to use. Another thing to check out on my website is the floor plans. So home builders are there, and you could also get estimates if you're thinking about selling your home. And there's also articles that I wrote and a whole bunch of other things to help to get you caught up to speed with your real estate purchase or sale. And also, too, the same way like this video and other videos that I make, just to give you some ideas that, maybe there's something that you haven't already thought of, and, I mention it in one of these, something to consider. Thank you for watching, and please don't hesitate to reach out and contact me with any questions. Thank you.